So now our box is built. Our open cube-shaped container is fully constructed, but not looking very nice or pretty. That's what this video is all about, how to begin to smooth. If you're at home, you might be using a grocery bag, like I just showed, like a supermarket bag to wrap your work. That's fine. If you're in the classroom with me, you'll have another bag. We're going to be smoothing all walls, exterior and interior, but it's always a good idea to begin with the interior first. So you can see I've got evidence of my coils still showing with some rough texture on each wall. But I'm going to spend time smoothing the actual wall in a minute, and I'm going to try to remove some evidence of coils. I already did that on two walls that I'm currently pointing at. So I've done like 1/2 of smoothing the interior. Again, you might see a little hint of coils, but we're going to remove most of the evidence of the coils. Now, what could get a little tricky is getting your hand to fit down in the box. At times, you want to make sure you're not too clumsy, and it can be a little tricky if you've got large hands. You're going to want to use either the makeup sponge I provided you if you're at home working on this, or even a kitchen sponge. In class, you'll have something like a kitchen sponge. Whatever works for getting those walls smooth. You may want to lay your box on its side from time to time so you have easy access to the interior. You may need to stand up a little bit and kind of peer down, look down inside the box, kind of have a bird's eye view. Or you can smooth while you're seated. Just make adjustments as needed for the physicality of this. All right, so I'm holding this container in my hand. I don't recommend you do that. I'm only doing that so you have a close-up camera angle. For this, you may want to lay the box on its side and basically do a scrubbing technique using a circular motion with the sponge provided, or even your fingertips. You can use all your fingertips. You can use one fingertip, thumb, whatever, but do a circular motion on the actual wall. And that will help smooth out and remove any imperfections. When it comes to the coils, you should have a little moisture on your index finger, and you can see I'm kind of smoothing the coil directly with my index finger. Kind of bumping the index finger up against the coil to smooth it. Again, and kind of do whatever works for you. A pinky might be helpful rather than using your index finger. You can try that, where you kind of push your pinky up against the coil and do a scrubbing technique, basically, with your pinky or your index finger. It's kind of hard to see what I'm doing in there at the moment, but I'm basically scrubbing the base wall with my sponge. Now, if your thumb fits or fingertips, try that and just use your actual hand to smooth the base wall. Again, you want to avoid being clumsy if you can help it. But laying the box on its side is helpful too, to make it where you can get to some easy access. Okay. So I've smoothed the interior again on two sides. I've got more work to do. And, you know, I'm noticing it's a little awkward. My hand is clumsy. So here's a way around that. You can make a tool that I call a sponge on a stick, basically. And you can take a pencil and that makeup sponge or whatever sponge you have and kind of attach it to the pencil as I'm doing, using a rubber band or even a hair tie. It's a glorified sponge on a stick. I call mine the Naphinator 3000 tool. And that will allow you to get into some of the corners without fear of damaging walls. So I think this is my second attempt at making that tool. And just try to tie that rubber band as tight as you can. And you want to be mindful of the fact that the pencil eraser is hiding under the sponge. You don't want the pencil eraser to kind of poke out and start damaging your walls. But this is a great little handy tool that will allow you to do additional scrubbing and smoothing without fear of damaging the box using your hands. And you can run this over the coils. You can run this tool over the walls. It should be helpful either way.